Welcome students. We are studying French Revolution, class 9th, History chapter 1. Till now we have completed the 7 periods or the 7 videos which you can see by clicking on the I button on your top right corner. This is our 8th and the last video. By the end of this video, a chapter would have been completed. Here we'll be covering two major topics. Number 1, slavery in France, and then what was the meaning of French Revolution in everyday life and its impact throughout the world. So let us start with have a look on what are we going to study in this chapter. First, French colonies in the Caribbean islands. We'll see what is Caribbean islands, where are they located, and all these things. Then we'll see slave triangle, how the slave trade between the French traders and the Caribbean islands, which is in the Central America, how that was, why it was known as the triangle. Then we'll see the journey of abolition of slavery in France, how it started, how it ended, then again restarted, then again ended. That will cover here. Then we'll see what is the meaning of the word censorship and the history of censorship before the revolution, French Revolution, of course, and after the revolution. Then we'll see the rise of Napoleon. This year we won't be dealing much about the rise of Napoleon, but this is very important topic because the next year we have a chapter called Nationalism in Europe. There, this Napoleon, this person is very important to understand the chapter next year. So be attentive here. And we'll conclude this video after discussion of revolution, meaning of a revolution in everyday life, what changes came in the life of the people, and what the world, how the world was benefited because of the French Revolution. That will be a last part of this. Let us start with the meaning of the title. Here two important words you can see. One is abolition, another is slavery. Abolition is very easy. Abolition means to end, to finish, खत्म कर देना किसी चीज को, that is abolition. Slavery, a single Hindi word for this is gulami. A Marathi we can say gulamgiri. What is slavery? Slavery came from the word slave, that is gulam. There's a difference between slave and servant. In short, servant is the person which works for you. That person works for you for money or maybe for anything. You ask someone to work for you and promise to pay something to that person. So that person is serving you because you will be giving to that something to that person against the service that that person is doing to you. But slavery is against uh, any kind of payment. Slavery is different than servant. A slave is a person who works for you because you force that person to work for you. And do you give something to the slaves? You do not give. If you want to give, that's up to you. But the slave cannot force you to give you something. Apart, one more difference, servant works for you with rules and regulations. It means you have appointed a person to work in your company as a accountant, so you cannot ask that person to clean the floor, you cannot ask that person to do the work of sales or the production, or you appoint a person at your house to cook the food, you can't force that person to wipe the floor, you cannot ask that person to clean the utensils maybe. So servants are appointed for a certain work or few works, but slave is your gulam. You can ask slave to do anything at any time. Slave have no right. Slave can't say that no, I am tired, I want rest. Slave can't say that I need a holiday. Slave can't say that I don't want to do this. Slave don't say that I need some money for this. It's all up to you. Slaves are your gulam. Okay, slavery is worst form of service. No one should become slave of anyone. So that slavery we'll see in this chapter. So here, before we come to exact slave triangle and slavery, let's learn some basic things about that. Caribbean island. What's the Caribbean island? Even actually we'll go to the Caribbean island. One thing I'll tell you, what is the meaning of colony? Colony means not the place where you live, 4 or 5 buildings are there, or 8, 10 buildings are there, and the people living. That's a different thing. Colony. Here, colony means when one country which has a very strong military, and based on this military strength that country attacks on the another country which is militarily weak and overpowers that country. Powerful country establishes its powers over the weaker country. In that case, the weaker country has become the colonies. If we look at India, India was colonized by the British, England. So India was the colony because the Britishers militarily were superior to us and they overpowered us. Then you have studied about in the 8th standard Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. This is how they started their colonization. Okay, so many of the European countries were in the race with each other to acquire more and more and more colonies. India became the British colony. Vietnam, our neighbor, became the French colony. Even uh, Portugals were also there in India. Goa was under was a Portuguese colony. So all these countries were in competition with each other to acquire more and more colonies. So here we're talking about colonies in Caribbean islands. Caribbean is a group of islands that you can see on the global map, world map. So see the location: North America, South America. This part is known as the Central America, and near Central America is the group of island called the Caribbean island. Like Andaman and Nicobar Island, this is also a group of island. Now global location is clear. Now let's zoom in. If we zoom in on that Caribbean island, we'll see this. This is again a Caribbean islands, group of Caribbean island. Here, different Caribbean islands were the colonies of different European powers. So, but we are studying about the French Revolution. We are concerned with the French colonies. So, these three names are there: Martinique, Guadeloupe, and San Domingo. These three were the French colonies in the Caribbean islands. Now, these colonies you can easily locate here with these names. You can pause and read this, try to find out. So remember this, important for the 3 marks, 1 mark question, and also for the 3 mark question. Which colonies? Martinique, Guadeloupe, and San Domingo. And how France was benefited with these colonies? See, the French king had established his power over these three colonies, and France was especially benefited because of the agricultural trade. French obtained from these colonies some major crops. Of course, there were some other crops too, but the major crops were tobacco, tambaku, sugar, sugar, indigo. Indigo is a herb which is used to make blue color, often in the textile industry, and coffee. These were the major products that France was obtaining from these three Caribbean colonies. Okay, let's move to the triangle now. Why slave triangle? First, I'll tell you why there was a need to create slave triangle. Then we'll see why it was called triangle. See, we have seen the location. Caribbean islands is close to equator. Okay, and the French comes in the temperate zone or colder area. And the population of Caribbean islands was very less. Population of the Caribbean islands was not enough to provide work in the agriculture, so where the labors would be get. So what happened first? French king won those colonies. French king colonized this colony islands, and then French king sold the land in those colonies to the rich people in their country. For example, you are a king and I am a citizen, a rich person in your country. You king won that area. Now I paid you some huge amount of money and you give me a huge land in the San Domingo island. So I paid you for that land. Then I need to recover my money because business means making profit. Then I want to cultivate sugarcane in that colony and I need the laborers. But laborers available in San Domingo are not enough. They are very less. They are insufficient. Then I need laborers. Where to get the laborers? I asked my French people, poor people in France, you come to San Domingo and you work as agricultural laborers. But the French people refused. We can't work in that. We don't want to go away from our land. We can't work in such humid and hot areas. So French people refused. So where to get the labor? Then there was some new business started in France. What was that business? Maybe a third person, your friend, came and said that, okay, you don't worry. You want labor to work in San Domingo? You go to San Domingo, I will bring a labor for you. So that person and your friend started from this France, went to Africa. Of course, this is by ocean routes, went to Africa. Here, they bought some servant from the African tribal chiefs, and those servants are taken to Caribbean islands. They worked on the plantation. Then the whatever is produced that was sent to Europe to be sold in the market. This is how the slave triangle was created. I hope you understood now what is the slave triangle. So which three areas, continents were involved in the slave triangle? Europe, Africa, and America. How first? We already discussed there was a shortage of labor in the Europe to work in Caribbeans because Europeans were not willing to work in the Caribbean plantations. Then slave triangle was a solution. Some European traders went to Africa, purchased human beings as slaves by paying some money or some other things to the tribe chieftains or the leaders of the tribe in the tribal groups of Africa. Then those slaves were bought branded. Branded matlab, stamping of there that maybe Parle-G is a brand. So suppose your friend now is a slave trader now. He had made his own logo and symbols and stamped on the skin of those laborers, put them into chains, stuff them into the ships. It's crowded ship. You can imagine the situation. Suppose you're traveling in traveling in India by trains without reservation in the general compartment. I hope you have traveled. If you have not traveled, then at least you might have observed how the general compartment, general bogies of the Indian railways, especially the passengers, how is stuffed with the people. And these slaves, they're stuffed into the ships and taken to 3 months long journey towards Caribbean island. Now these slaves were purchased by owners of the plantation, those people who had bought land from their kings. Those plantation owners bought these slaves from the slave traders and used these slaves to work in the field. Now these plantation owners, whatever is produced, sugarcane, tobacco and indigo, taken to the European market to sell. I hope this slave triangle is understood. If not understood, ask me. I'll again explain this by writing answering your comment. Let's move to the next slide. Same thing. Now, key points that you should know about the slave trade. Before that, see this image. This is how the slaves were stuffed into the ships. And again, these three places: European traders, slave traders came to Africa, bought slaves. There's European traders bought these slaves to Caribbean. Slave traders sold their slaves to the plantation owners, which were again the Europeans. Then these plantation owners produced agriculture yield and brought that yield to Europe to be sold there. And the slave trade began in the 17th century. It means somewhere around 1600. This is the chronology. French traders sailed from Bordeaux or Nantes. What are Bordeaux and Nantes? These are the coastal areas of France. You can see now. See, this is Bordeaux. This is important point that can be asked as a map points. Nantes. These are two major port towns where the slave traders started their journey to go to Africa. Then once the slaves are bought, once the slaves are purchased from Africa, they were taken to they are packed, sealed and stuffed in ships for a 3 months long journey. They are taken from Africa to America through Atlantic Ocean. And due to the slave trade, France was able to meet the demand from the market. What France was producing majorly from tobacco, sugarcane, indigo, and I forgot the fourth name. Now there's a great demand for these commodities in the European market. Now France was able to meet the growing demand of the market because France was able to grow enough from the plantations in Caribbean because the slaves were available as the plantation workers. And as a result of this, some French port towns like Bordeaux and Nantes flourished and developed. Now how slavery ended. First, National Assembly thought that because liberty, equality, fraternity, equality of all the people are equal. So French Assembly wanted to declare slavery as illegal thing. It was expected by the French Constitution that slavery is wrong. It must be end. But the National Assembly did not ban slavery. Why National Assembly of France was against the slavery. It wanted to ban the slavery, but the National Assembly did not ban slavery. Why? Because most of the people in the National Assembly were the rich businessmen who were making their profit because of slavery. Some may be the slave traders, some may be the plantation owners, some may be the exporter of the agriculture commodities, and all these people somewhere their businesses are dependent on slaves. and these people were a majority in the National Assembly. So they knew that it was wrong, but they did not have a daring to stop it. Otherwise, the business would have been impacted. And by the way, this rich people was giving finance, giving money to the National Assembly to run the country. They were the major powerful people, so their business can't be attacked by the government. Then came the Reign of Terror, 1793 and 1794. So the convention, the Robespierre, we can say that, banned slavery in 1794. Finally, in 1794, slavery was banned in France. But soon Napoleon's rule was ended, and by 1798-99, Napoleon Bonaparte came to power, and he reversed the revolution and declared himself king. And that Napoleon Bonaparte again started slavery. Okay, but finally 1848 was the year when slavery was finally ended in France, and this 1848 is a very important year. Importance of this year we will be studying in class 10 while studying about nationalism in Europe. This is how slavery came to an end. Now I told you we will be studying two topics in this video. So second topic will start now. Now what was the revolution in everyday? Impact of revolution in everyday life. Censorship was ended after the revolution. What was before the revolution then? Before the revolution, it means that is during the old regime, everything that would come in the public domain, whether it through a newspaper or a drama or anything, any book, anything would come out during the old regime, it had to take permission from king. Of course, king had a complete department assigned for it. If that department permit you, then only you can express yourself publicly through any media. And what the king's department, censorship department, is looking for, are you speaking or writing or acting anything against the king? If it is there, then you wouldn't get the permission. So it means you cannot criticize the existing authority. Of course, the monarchy, that was before the revolution, that was during the old regime. But after this, people struggled for freedom, and all these things happened. There was freedom of press. People could criticize the existing government. Of course, that was not possible during the Reign of Terror. And when again Napoleon came, that censorship was again imposed. Censorship मतलब पाबंदी लगा देना. आप freely अपने ideas को, अपने views को express नहीं कर सकते हो. यह censorship. पहले censorship थी, बाद में हटा दी गई. फिर और ये यही होता रहा. ठीक है? Now, fall of republic. I told you earlier, even 3 minutes before, Napoleon Bonaparte, who was the military commander. But after the fall of Robespierre, there was the directory rule. 5 members working as the, maybe it's a prime minister, and they often fight among themselves, and they often had a fight with the National Assembly. So there was a tussle, and there was a political chaos, political struggle, and Napoleon was the powerful military authority, so he took the advantage of it, and he arrested his major rivals, and later on take the entire charge of France in his own hand. And then 1804 he declared himself the king of France. And when he declared himself king of France, he was one of the most powerful kings of France. It means again the absolute monarchy came, and the revolution was made zero. Revolution was reversed. So Napoleon did some good things. He made a law to protect the private property. It means even that right we Indians also have now. If you earn your money through right ways, you can earn as much as your ability is there, as much as you want. If you in the right ways, if you pay the tax, earn money right way, there is no limit how much you can earn. So that law was in France made by Napoleon. Then uniform system of measurement and decimal system. Two things are there. Uniform system of measurement. What is the uniform system of measurement? अगर आप market से कुछ भी खरीदते हो, whatever you buy from the market, there should be uniform measure. For example, in India, we buy bananas. Bananas we buy in dozens. Dozen means 12. So bananas, for example, I'm saying in France, if you want to buy bananas, it will be bought, a unit of purchase will be dozen only, and one dozen will consist only 12 numbers. For example, I'm saying. So even the liquids and the fabric and cloth, all that he systemized and uniform. So this thing would be sold under this unit, and each unit had have this much quantity, that he had made it fixed. And he also started decimal point. Decimal point means earlier you could buy only 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. Now he said that no, 1 kg, 1.25 kg, 1.5 kg, 1.75 kg, or 2 kg. He started this too. That was again a good thing that he did. Then he was a powerful country. He wanted to make a global empire, and he attacked the neighboring countries of France and successfully defeated them and increased. My professor, when I was in college, Professor Wadkar, while teaching once, he told me, he was a poor boy, by the way, when his father died. Then the family came into poverty, and he had told his mother, your all 5 sons will be the kings of 5 different countries. Such a big promise he made to his mother, and finally he had fulfilled the promise. He won several countries around the France and placed his relatives, of course his brothers first, as a king in those countries. When he started his career means when he declared himself the king, and there was absolute monarchies in other countries, and he became a good monarch in his country in the beginning phase. So he told the neighboring countries, if I become your king, this kind of government I will give you, and your present governments are bad. So whenever he attacked his neighboring countries against their king, people of those countries were in favor of Napoleon. They supported Napoleon. They welcomed Napoleon. So initially he was like a liberator. He wanted to liberate the people, free the people from the bad monarchies. Later on, people realized that he himself was like the other king. But finally, he was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. In year 1815, he was finally defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. Now, what impact the French Revolution had on the world? And see, French Revolution had given 3 important ideologies to the world, 3 principles, ideals of liberty means azadi, equality means samanta, fraternity means बंधु भाव. मतलब हर किसी के लिए आज़ादी जरूरी है, एक एक व्यक्ति आज़ाद होना चाहिए. एवरी पर्सन शुड बी इक्वल. देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बेस्ड ऑन एनी base or fraternity. All people should behave with each other. All people should have feelings for other person as they belong to the same family. Then what impact, major impact occurred all over the Europe after the French Revolution? First, feudal system was abolished from the entire Europe. Feudal system means when king had given a huge lands to some landlords, and now those landlords employed other people to work on their land, and they used to pay some tax to the king, and the rest of the money they kept with themselves. And actually those people who worked on the field remained poor. So that was the feudal system. That was ended after French Revolution. Now colonized people like we were the colonized, and we were colonized by the Britishers. All those people who were colonized, they learned a lesson and started to fight with new power, new vigor, and with new strategies against their colonizers. And third, many Indians were also influenced by the ideas of French Revolution, and 2 such great persons were Tipu Sultan, King of Mysore, and Raja Raman Roy, one of the great reformers in India. Of course, we can say one of the great reformers in the world. And these people also brought many improvement in the lives of the people on whom they had their control. That was the major impact the world and India had of the French Revolution. Now we have came to the conclusion of this video. So what have we learned so far till now? The Caribbean islands include Martinique, Guadeloupe, and San Domingo. They were the French colonies. What major crops France was obtaining from them? Tobacco, sugar, indigo, and coffee. There was a slave triangle, and the areas included, continents included in the slave triangle was Europe, Africa, and America, Central America to be more precise. French traders bought slaves from Africa, sold them to the plantation owners in Caribbean, and the Caribbean plantation owners, whatever they produced, took it to Europe to be sold in the European market. Slavery was for a while banned by Robespierre, but was again started when the Napoleon Bonaparte came to power. Finally, slavery was ended in France in 1848. Earlier, during the old regime, there was censorship, but after the revolution and even after the reign of terror, censorship was relaxed. Of course, it came when Napoleon came to power. And After the French Revolution, Napoleon came to power. I think 1798 he came to power, and 1804 he actually declared himself the king of France. This is how the revolution came to an end. The revolution was null and void. The revolution was destroyed. Now, what the world has learned, the ideas the world had learned from the French Revolution were liberty, equality, and fraternity. And liberty, equality, and fraternity. Now we have come to the end of this video and the end of this chapter. We have completed this chapter. Our next chapter would be economics, first chapter that will start now. I hope you understood everything. Now tomorrow we'll be having a live streaming or live stream wherein I'll expect all the questions from you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me tomorrow live streaming. I'll answer you all. Then day after tomorrow we'll be studying with the chapter first of economics. Till then, take care, keep learning. Thank you so much. Goodbye.